Spider-Man Brand New Day. Was it a good movie? Well, that's a really good question. So yesterday I watched Spider-Man Brand New Day, and my reviews are quite mixed, to be honest. I thought the movie was okay, and if I was to rate it out of 10, I would rate it around a 6 out of 10, to be honest. And that is purely because I'm comparing it against the other Tom Holland Spider-Mans, especially the one with the three the three iconic ones. I mean, meaning Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and then we have Tom Holland. I mean, I think that was No Way Home, and that was an absolutely amazing movie. And when we compare this one with that one, the rating sort of dips. But nevertheless, the movie wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It did the job, but it seemed like a very basic and normal superhero movie with nothing too eye catching. And I wouldn't really recommend anybody to watch it or to spend money to watch it. You don't need to watch it in a cinema. Matter of fact, you can just watch it at home if it's cheaper. And yeah, the best way to describe it is just really a basic Spider-Man movie. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna provide any spoilers to you guys if you guys didn't watch the movie, but yeah, no, it was okay. But I'm not making this video today to review the Spider-Man movie. Instead, this video is gonna be a few lessons I've actually learned from that movie, and I think you guys see a common scenario or a common pattern, not scenario. I've done the same with the Michael Jackson movie, where after watching the movie, I've given my perspective and learnings. And I'm actually going to do the same with this Spider Man movie. And that's one thing I actually really liked about this movie was that I had a quite, I had quite a few good lines of wisdom, lines of wisdom which are very important for the youth. And not only the youth, obviously, but also other people. And yeah, that's why I really also enjoyed the movie in that sense, but not really in a superhero Marvel universe sort of sense. So let's get into the learnings. Well, the main one I remember, I'm not going to touch upon all of them because I remember one really, 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 really big one. So if you guys watch the movie, this scene was probably near to the end where yeah, I don't want to provide any spoilers to the people who haven't watched it, but essentially it was a scene where Tom Holland was talking to his aunt. I think his aunt is Aunt Mary. I think that's her name, but they were speaking to each other. And but Tom Holland was replaced with another protagonist, which if you guys watch the film, it would be Sadie Sink, the actor, and her character. But let's just explain what happened within the scene. Well, essentially, what I really respected about this scene was that the aunt, provided a really great speech, and it was on the lines of, "You are very special in your own specific ways. You have your own quirks, you have your own interests, you have your own ambitions, you have your own ways of doing things which make you a beautiful human being. But sometimes there are some people in the world around you, in your vicinity, which try to pull you down, which try to diminish those unique aspects of you, those distinct aspects. They try to diminish, or they try to bash you for having them. Why? Because of, well, we can signal it down to insecurity, we can also signal it down to you being different has caused a reaction in them for some specific reason. And this obviously results in them being negative towards you. So what I'm trying to say is that she says that you're special in your own ways. You have your own unique aspects and characteristics. But in life, there will be some people who try to pull those stuff down, pull those unique aspects of you down, try to mold you into an individual which is, suitable towards them or likable for those specific people. Why? Because they're either insecure about themselves or who knows what the psychological reasoning is. But that's the main message. And then she follows up by saying, you are special and keep it that way. Don't let anybody get into your head. Don't let people pull you down. You're strong and you're capable. And again, this is not in the lines of what she said. Don't quote me. At least that's what I interpreted from that scene. And I absolutely love that. I love that scene because, out of all honesty, during this past few weeks / months, there have been some negative comments, towards, let's say me, me. And I'm not calling myself, I don't want to be pompous here and say I'm special and all that, but I'll say I have my own unique characteristics. I have my own distinct features and interests and ambitions, like anybody else in the world. But I have experienced, a few people telling me or making fun of me, and saying negative things towards me, which eventually feel like they're pulling me down instead of supporting me. And it felt really sad, I felt really sad. No, I felt really sad. Because I don't like to call myself a guy of negativity, of pulling each other down, of speaking badly towards people. And I don't think that's what good partnerships are or encouragement should be. Trying to mold an individual into a specific type and characteristic, it doesn't fit right with me. It doesn't fit right with me, and it quite hurts when, these people do these kind of things. But having watched this movie and the specific scene, I came at ease, to be honest. I came at ease, And like Spider-Man, he's different. He's distinct. He has his own cool characteristics, his own quirks, his own things, which make him who he is. Your imperfections, your perfections, your characteristics, your ambitions, your mentality, your soul and identity is who is what makes you who you are. And he faces so much adversity from either, not at least in the movie, but sometimes he may face adversity from the New York police or the public. If he does something which is not in line with the mold society is trying to create for him, negativity could be pushed towards him. But obviously this is not really the case in the movie, but I'm saying this could be the factor, and most probably is the reason why his aunt is telling him this or explaining this wisdom to him. So the point being is that you may have a situation in your life where people are trying to pull you down, they're trying to pull you down, they're trying to mold you into an individual, they're trying to be negative to you, they're trying to just not encourage you, not spread that positivity you really need in your life. And more specifically, they're trying to attack your characteristics, your ambitions, your learnings, who you are. I'm not saying you should fight back in anger. I don't think that's what Spider-Man and all these very motivational and very respectable individuals do. They don't fight back with anger. They don't fight back with anger because yeah, they believe in peace and and a practical way of approaching things. But nevertheless, what I'm trying to say is that if you have these people attacking you, just believe and just remember that who you are makes you beautiful. And that's what makes humans so distinct. We all have our different interests. We all have our different personalities. We all have our different characteristics and so on. You don't need to change to be liked. You don't need to change just because this negative person has been telling you to change. You don't need to feel embarrassed just because this person is embarrassed about themselves but is spreading it towards you. You don't need to feel that way. And you're not alone. If you ever feel like you're alone, let's just look back at the Spider-Man movie. This man has spider capabilities. At least in this new movie, he has developed those capabilities. Imagine how out of place he may feel. Imagine how scared he may feel. Or imagine how much maybe the backlash he may be getting from the New York police or societal members. So when you remember that, I hope that sort of puts you at ease in terms of when people start coming at you and you start to say, all right, maybe these people, they don't have the best of intentions. And I know that my identity is what makes me beautiful. And I can relate that to Spider-Man. I can relate that to other respectable individuals in the world. So that's the main message. I think it's a bit long-winded and I may have repeated myself a couple of times, but I think this message really needs to be drilled down. It needs to be drilled down, at least in my brain sometimes. It needs to be drilled down that these negative people are not negative. These people who are not, don't spread positive, they don't encourage you. They should not define who you are, because you define who you are, and your interests and your characteristics are what make you beautiful. And yeah, I just wanted to say that message, to be honest. And actually, you guys should watch the movie just for that scene. Just for that scene, just for these motivational quotes, just for the wisdom. You can learn a lot from these kind of films because they're directed very well and they have that sustenance behind each word they say. So yeah, enjoy the movie if you guys watch it. And yeah, hope you guys got something out of this video. See you guys and bye bye.